Hello, Yankees friends. Let's talk about something that's stirring up the baseball world and, of course, the hearts of us New York Yankees fans. You've probably heard that the team is always looking for reinforcements to strengthen the roster, right? But what if I told you there's a real possibility of adding another big name to our rotation? Yes, I'm talking about Dylan Cease from the San Diego Padres. So, what do you think of this idea? Recently, fan-sided MLB analyst Thomas Carinanti suggested a trade that would have the Yankees acquiring Cease in a 4-player deal. The proposal includes pitcher Clarke Schmidt and 2 prospects, Everson Pereira and Jorbit Vivas, going to the Padres. It sounds like an interesting deal, but is it worth it? Let's break it down together. Dylan Cease, who is in the final year of his contract with the Padres, avoided arbitration by signing a $13.75 million deal for 2024. He had a solid year, with 14 wins, 11 losses, and a 3.47 ERA in 33 starts. Additionally, projections indicate he could sign a 5-year, $108 million deal in the future. With numbers like that, it's hard not to get excited, right? On the other hand, Clarke Schmidt, who could be sent to San Diego, also had a respectable performance in 2024, with 5 wins, 5 losses, and a 2.85 ERA in 16 starts. Schmidt still has 2 years of club control after 2025, which could be an asset for the Padres. As for Everson Pereira, our 10th-ranked prospect, he showed potential in AAA, batting .265 with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs. And Jorbit Vivas, the 17th-ranked prospect, is ready to compete for a spot on the main roster. Is it worth giving up these young talents? Carinanti believes that since Cease is in the final year of his contract and seems determined to test free agency, the Padres won't get a huge return for him. He suggests that the Yankees wouldn't have to give up too much to add Cease to their rotation, which would also provide financial flexibility for future moves. So do you agree? Do you think Cease is the missing piece to strengthen our pitching? Imagine a rotation with Gerrit Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Dylan Cease, and Luis Gil. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? But what about Marcus Stroman? He'd likely be traded in this scenario. Is now the right time for this change? The Padres, meanwhile, are in a restructuring phase, trying to adjust their finances and haven't signed any players to MLB contracts this season. With Cease set to become a free agent at the end of the year, there are rumors that San Diego might trade him to ease their payroll. Will the Yankees seize this opportunity? First, let's think about what Dylan Cease could bring to our rotation. He's a talented pitcher with solid numbers. 14 wins, 11 losses, and a 3.47 ERA in 2024. Plus, he's in the final year of his contract, meaning the Yankees could have him for a season without committing to a long-term deal. That sounds tempting, especially when we think about strengthening our pitching for a potential title run. But is it worth giving up young talents like Clarke Schmidt, Everson Pereira, and Jorbit Vivas? Clarke Schmidt, for example, had a respectable performance in 2024 with a 2.85 ERA in 16 starts. He still has 2 years of club control after 2025, which could be an asset for the future. Everson Pereira, our 10th-ranked prospect, showed potential in AAA, and Jorbit Vivas, the 17th-ranked prospect, is ready to compete for a spot on the main roster. Should we really part ways with these promising young players for a pitcher who might only be a temporary solution? On the other hand, adding Cease could significantly strengthen our rotation. Imagine a pitching staff with Gerrit Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Dylan Cease, and Luis Gil. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? But what about Marcus Stroman? He'd likely be traded in this scenario. Is now the right time for this change? I also think it's important to consider the financial aspect. Cease is in the final year of his contract and is expected to seek a long-term deal in free agency. If the Yankees decide to make a trade, they'd have financial flexibility for future moves. But does the cost of giving up young talents outweigh that flexibility? In the end, I think this decision depends on how the Yankees front office views the team's future. If the priority is to win now, maybe adding Cease makes sense. But if the goal is to build a solid foundation for the coming years, perhaps it's better to keep our young talents and explore other options. What do you think? Is it worth giving up Schmidt, Pereira and Vivas for Cease? Or should we hold on to our young prospects and look for other options? Leave your comments below, and let's talk about it. After all, what would baseball be without a good debate, right? Keep an eye out, because this story is sure to have more chapters. And as always, let's cheer on the Yankees together, whatever the front office decides. Until next time, friends.